Welcome one, welcome all to a new segment here, a conversation with Jason. I'm Justin. J Boogie streams on Rumble every Monday through Friday, 8 through 10. I'll be live. Hopefully the new content we're making here you'll enjoy. And I'm going to throw it to my good friend, Jason. Jason, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Thank you for having me today.
Of course,
I really appreciate your time.
And tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm a graphic designer in Grand Haven, and at the age of 15, I started teaching myself the fundamentals of fine art and graphic design, which developed into studio opportunities and plenty of connections across the United States with hundreds of clients. And my perspectives really go on art theory, neuroscience, psychology, and basically anything in between. Behavioral science. I do a lot of independent research on how does the mind and body actually work, and how does that affect the individual dynamics of an entire culture, and where does it actually lead for, where does it actually go for, an entire group of people. Not only for myself, so I started the neuroscience stuff because I was, at a point where I wanted to understand my own mind as well. But now, it's like, it's better. I believe that it's better to help other people. So even in my design practice, graphic design, and my studio work that I have here locally, I think it's really just the best thing that you can do is just help other people. Seeing is believing, and it's really a cool opportunity. One, I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted to do this, and here I am today.
So tell the people what are the current some of the current projects you've worked on for people with your design?
Well, yeah,
the current things you've done for whatever you've done.
Yeah,
recently.
I'd be ashamed to say like there's a an AI project that I did recently where I had, and I don't agree with this.
Right.
That's a whole different discussion. I don't agree with it. But there's I did have AI help me make a logo recently for a biker club up north.
Okay.
Like pretty recently.
Yeah, but was it heavily used AI or just like a little bit?
I work for Outlier as well.
Right.
Which Outlier.ai is it's an independent company that basically what they do is they hire whoever you want to have a specialty in. So you sign up, you get the skilled certifications, you do everything. They send you the email. They get you hooked up with a project, and what you're doing is you're training AI.
Right. So it's like freelancing kind of in a way, but
it's like a free. You're working for yourself kind of thing. It hasn't been a lot of it's not really very profitable unless you're an extremely skilled person. You have to know like CSS and a lot of like back end type of stuff, logs, and so basically work a little bit with the AI space. And for that project specifically, I had to put in about 35 prompts to get what I wanted.
Dang.
And my client was there with me in the space, and I was like, every single step of the way, visually, he was like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy. This is crazy. Like, it's turning out so good. And I said, well, you have to know how to talk to the AI, but even after you have the result, you still need somebody like me to come in and clean it all up and make it a vision, actually do something with it, Well,
there's like two ways. Then you go with AI too. It's like, you can either take your rough idea and have AI touch it up for you, or you can create something and touch up what AI has created. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like also too, it's
Yeah.
like the thing you can't use AI in this time of day because there's people that are using AI, you know, that you'll be left in the dust. Because like even when I do content,
Correct.
even when I do content, I can use Opius clips and AI can go through an hour-long video and make 30 clips in 5 minutes for me. You know what I mean? If you don't use that kind of stuff,
Correct.
it's going to take you 4 hours to make 30 clips. You know what I mean?
So 2 years ago, and I think this would be good for anybody that's like in this industry that's really looking at this stuff. 2 to 3 years ago, I was making $100 an hour. Easy.
Dang.
Easy. Guess what? Now I'm not, because you and everybody else can go press a red little button. Okay? You can go press a red little button and get basically everything you need.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And so I mean, all my clients are swept off their feet, and that's okay.
Yeah. See, I don't think AI is going to take over like people's jobs, but I think if people don't use it, they're going to be left in the dust. Because, like I said, people who are using it are creating X amount more content than someone who isn't using it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's really the power behind it. Is you're not if you don't know how to use it, you don't teach yourself how to use it, you're going to be left behind.
And that's so true, because right now what we're seeing is it's kind of crazy, because they tell you, like, remember how back in the 80s and 90s they were like, hey, go get a college degree and like this will work out for you. You know, this like that's basically the ticket to success is go get the college degree.
Yeah.
And that was the ticket to success. Mm-hmm. Now everything changes within 30 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like nobody really, even these larger companies, even they can't keep up with it.
Right.
Even their most skilled teams, they can't really predict what's going to happen next Friday.
No, you're not wrong.
So it's really like a very rapid.
And this is the infancy of it too. This is like, and this is the infancy of AI too. This is like, imagine like 20, 30 years from now, what's going to be like. It's going to be.
So, dude, I'm laughing. Laughing, but I wish I was crying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Sometimes I think about things that. Sometimes I think about future events and like what could possibly come out of this world, and I just laugh because it's like I don't even know how what they even think about or even what to do. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to really even comprehend it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like at the same time too. It's like I always tell myself too, I don't know what God has in store and God has in plan, so I can never tell you what the future is going to be because everyone has free will and anything can change at any second. Anyone can change their mind at any second. So it's like you really can't predict what's going to happen in this world. You can only, try to read the room and try to make the best out of what you think's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
and prepare yourself.
That's the thing, and like there's also and we can talk about this a little bit. I don't know if it's something that you focus on a lot, or that could be of value, but between our generation and the boomers, right? Okay, I'm talking. Okay, they were in their life in the 70s, 80s kind of thing, right? Yeah. Like they were our age that time.
Yeah.
We're getting 6 times screwed right now by the economy.
Oh yeah,
which means that I have to work 2 times more to make 3 times less.
That's a good point.
So we're getting screwed, and the way and I really can't settle down on this point, because it's like if you tell them that, right, they're like, no, just put your bootstraps on.
Yeah, put your head down. Just put your head down, get to work.
Just put your head down, get to work. It's like, well, I'm not gonna sit back and like accept that this is my reality right now. Yeah. Like I'm gonna try to do stuff. I'm gonna try to talk to people. I'm gonna try to communicate. I'm gonna try to put out that message. Like, look, this is, and you know what? It might be a cry in the dark,
right? But
that's okay, because whoever hears that could make a change, like more of a change than I will. And also, 1 + 1 = 3. It doesn't equal 2. Now, as far as like the influence of basically influence of anything. Yeah. Right. And
no, you're not wrong.
It's kind of ridiculous to have, somebody that's like, 20, 30 years older than you say, oh, it is what it is.
Right.
No, dude, it's not what it is.
Yeah, and the problem,
like, this is not,
and we're at, and
anything
well, also too, we're at
like
because that's how they thought too. The boomers all thought this is how it is. You know, what I mean, we have to follow our marching orders. You know, what I mean, like
right.
you're 18,
Yeah.
you get a factory
Oh, yeah.
job, you join the military.
Yep.
You know, what I mean, you do your housekeeping. You know, what I mean, all that kind of stuff. You know, what I mean, you follow the orders. But also too, like their propaganda stuff like that was way more different than it is today. Also, like their propaganda was like
Cold War shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they were getting fed. They're getting programmed way different than kids today are now getting programmed. You know what I mean? Because like kids these days are getting programmed to accept like, you know what I mean, digital IDs and like face scanning to pay for payments, cryptocurrency, and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? So the programming happening now to kids is way different than this today. And I always tell people too, it's like I believe the kids that are in school right now, when they get in their 30s and 40s, is going to be a completely different world than anyone has ever seen before, ever.
And we're going to be,
ever.
And you and I are going to be 60, and we're going to have to witness it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, if we make it that far.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it's like, you know, I'm very fearful of, you know, where, you know, we've seen degradation from the 70s all the way to today.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at history, and you know, at least if you open up your eyes about it. But like, there's so many school teachers that are just quitting right now because the kids are so bad.
Oh yeah.
And it's honestly, it's not the kids.
No.
It's the parents.
It's the adults.
The parents that they just don't, they don't have the traditional values. They don't have, and I don't care. And I'm not saying like traditional values is better than orthodox values is better than this or that. I'm just saying, like, you know, at some point, these parents they gave their kids an iPad or an iPhone, and they stopped them from crying. Right. But then from a very early age, they have entertainment by themselves, so they never have a sense of community. Right. To go, you know, really go on to feeling like they're safe around, you know, around family or friends or different communities.
Right.
So,
but it also seems like kids these days also too have no outlet. I know when we were growing up, but you had roller rinks, you had bowling alleys, stuff like that. All that stuff got shut down during COVID. You know what I mean? It's like even for a kid to want to go do something nowadays out in the public, whatever, it's almost impossible because there's nowhere for me to go in the first place. There is no more bowling alleys. You know what I mean? They are, but they're far from few. You know what I mean? And if you go bowling, it's going to cost you $100 to bowl 3 games of bowling. You know what I mean? And what parents would take 3 kids to go bowling for 2 hours for $100?
Well,
who has money to do that?
You know, like, okay, for example, like really recent example. So I just went to the grocery store yesterday. Right. Okay. I had, there was a couple of items that were a little bit more expensive. I got like
it toiletries? Like toothpaste and shampoo and stuff? That stuff's super expensive.
I got like a nice cast iron pan.
Okay.
So that added on to the total. Right. But it was, you know, you're in there for 40 minutes, $112. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can spend right now, like, I'm trying to look at the economy and say, how does this make sense for me? Yeah. Okay. And I'm better off. Yeah. I don't know how anybody else out here is really doing well because that's me every 3 days. Yeah. I have to eat like that. Yeah. And I eat like a king. So it's like, there's no way for me to justify. I seriously, there's people out there right now that are starving and going into 2026 after New Year's. They're starving when they had some kind of level of normalcy, right? This whole year, the past couple of years since COVID, but now it's really hitting us. Like the economic tides are really, really coming down on us. But and you know, I'm like, whatever. It sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's like a cry for help. It's a realization to say, like, yo, I'm in a good spot. This is what I do for myself. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there, even more than we think, that need a lot of help. Oh no, I agree. But the thing is too is like when it comes to food like that too, I also think people like also like, you know, like when I was in school, whatever, it's like they had home economics. You know what I mean? Like you could take cooking classes, learn how to cook for yourself, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff doesn't exist anymore. Like I also think people are too lazy to even cook for themselves anymore. That's also a big problem too. Is like people rather go out to McDonald's and spend $20 on empty calories and a Big Mac than go to, you know, a grocery store and buy vegetables and meat that would cost almost, you know, a half of that price. You know what I mean? So it's like people also kind of like
I don't know. They don't realize those kind of things too. Cause like even me living alone, I live alone, you know, and stuff like that. I have no one around, no kids, no wife, whatever. So like that. So it's like for me to sit home and be like, all right, I'm gonna cook dinner tonight for myself. It's kind of like almost self-defeating. You know what I mean? Cause it's like, I got to clean all these dishes. I want to sit at the table by myself, eat a steak dinner by myself. I'm cooking lasagna for myself. You know how sad that is. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's
so
not,
it's kind of like,
but it's not. That's the thing. There's a male epidemic of loneliness in this country.
yeah,
And social media definitely does not help any of that.
yeah.
Dating apps are terrible. I listen to
Dating apps are terrible.
Man of the
I agree.
name of Smith Lane. He's basically a family psychologist, family therapist.
Right.
And that's what he said. It's like you're really setting yourself up for failure by like going to these applications to, you know, find somebody that you want to be with. One, because they're all going to have attachment issues.
Oh yeah.
They're all going to have problems.
Oh yeah.
But then also you kind of butter up your account a little
Yeah.
bit. Like you kind of butter it
Oh,
up. You
I've
kind
been
of make yourself like
I've been
look a little bit
catfished.
better.
I was catfished years ago. Trust me, I was catfished years ago.
So like you're doing so what it's like a brew of like toxic negativity as far as like your potential attachment or your potential, you know, next person that you're going to be with. And so I've never actually downloaded a dating app. Yeah, I've never downloaded one.
Well, like years ago when I moved to the city or whatever, I downloaded Plenty of Fish. I was like, all right, I'm new to the city, you know, I mean, I want to find some females, whatever. So I matched with this girl. I was like, all right, I meet to this restaurant, you know, 6'3", whatever. She sits at the table. I go, listen, you look nothing like your pictures. Like, what's going on here? And she goes, oh, those are photoshopped. And I go, check, please. And I get up and just leave. You know what I mean? But it's like, but that's what happens. So too, is like people are also using filters on their photos. So it's like, it's not even really who they are, say they are. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And then like speaking on that subject too, it's like, I'm gonna throw this at you too. This is what I have last night, what I came up with, you know what I mean? So this is why, but this is what I foresee, like me personally. I'm not saying this is going to happen or this is like factual. This is what I foresee happening in the future, right? Is that at a certain point in society itself, you know, things are going to happen. It's going to degrade even more, right? And then you're going to have women asking for actual men to stand up for them, right?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is every man's going to be like, screw you, because you watch masculinity die in real time in front of our eyes, right? Like that. So like, it's also the point, like even myself, I'd rather watch it all burn down.
It's a perpetual thing.
It's like, I'd rather watch it all burn down and let them learn their lessons. And I know I'll be fine. I know I can defend myself. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, at the same point though, you can't do that either, because you have to stand up and be a man. You know what I mean? You can't let evil prevail and let it exist in the world.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But a lot of men are going to be like spiteful and resentful and be like, fuck it, let's burn it down. Watch it all burn.
You know what
I mean?
Yeah, and that's where we're going.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a black hole of society.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, no, and it's like too. It's like at the same time, it's like people are gonna fall for that trap though too. That's I think that's one of the traps they're setting, is like as we get to that point where women are gonna be like, I need a man. Where are they? And every man's like, we've been screwed over so much now.
Like we've been looking for you.
Yeah. Oh, you want to be boss?
We've been looking.
You want to be boss babe? Where are you at now? Where's boss babe now? You know what I mean? Let's watch it burn.
I did tell, and this might not resonate with a lot of people, and especially any female audience on this one note, but it's really like the last relationship that I was in, just got out of it. 3 years. She left me. I didn't do anything wrong. She just wasn't ready. Okay. And that is a huge heartbreak. That's really bad. And I feel bad for anybody that has to go through that.
Yeah.
But one thing in the middle of it that I told her, I was like, started to realize like, okay, I'm spending $70,000 on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In like 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm spending some cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's dinners. That's out to eat.
Right.
That's me cooking. That's
paying the bills for the house and the apartment.
And paying the bills.
Yeah.
Plus
rent.
Plus getting her out of credit card debt.
Yeah.
And one day I sent her a text message. I was like, hey, if you want to pay all, if you want to wear the pants in this relationship, you're gonna get all my fucking bills, right? Like, if you really want to play this game with me, if you really want to play this game with me and act like you're like
boss bitch,
then you're gonna, then instead of me cooking everything, doing all the laundry, doing all the shit, then you know what? Fine, I'll literally do nothing. But I'll do nothing, and then you have to pay for my bills as well. So and obviously she didn't like that, but it's the reality. It's like, where do people go, and where do these girls go, and they find this authority to be in that kind of mindset? It's like, yo, let me take care of you. Let me do my stuff. And don't be upset when I'm struggling. And obviously don't leave me when I'm struggling, right? So like, you got to be there for me. You got to, at least if I'm in bed and I'm sick, go ahead and, you obviously got to make me a meal, right? like, but then every other time, if I'm not in bed,
you're not wrong.
If I'm not in bed sick, then I'm gonna make all the meals for you. It's like,
and it's like,
where does it come back to me? Like,
it's like, too, it's like no one. It's like, it's not like we're not disrespecting women at all. But people understand. It's like,
it's
men and women are completely different. They have different roles in society, and they have different they have different parts to play. A woman, we're not saying women are weak, whatever. It's just like they have different parts and different roles to play. You know what I mean? Men and women are completely different people. It's not the same. It's not, you know what I mean? But it's like,
I don't know.
But like what Jason's going through, and like I've been through myself, whatever, with women. It's like that. It's like you're gonna have men out there who, when this comes, I'm telling you, when this comes about, and this world starts going further and further into whatever it's gonna go into, dude, we're gonna be like, watch it burn. I don't give a shit anymore. Let's just watch it all burn. I don't care.
And it's not just us. I think that's a huge collective.
Yeah, and it's sad, but it's collective. Like, it's sad because like, and you shouldn't think like that. I'm not telling you guys to think like that. I'm just saying like the majority of men are gonna think like that because they've been hurt so bad in this world and just watch masculinity die in front of our eyes. That like, but you can't let those you can't let it happen though. You still have to stand up and fight and push against it, because otherwise, then what do you stand for in the first place? You know what I mean? Like I rather, I always tell people, or tell myself at least, I rather, die for a cause or die for a reason than die just surviving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to die just surviving. I want to die if I'm going to die, I'd rather die for a reason, for a cause, or for something.
True.
You know what I mean? Not just because I survived. I survived life. I survived. I made it to 85. I survived life. You know what I mean?
And,
like,
and also, but I don't discount people who are just like kind of floating through life either.
Yeah,
because sometimes that's a more peaceful way to go about it.
Ignorance is bliss in this world. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I could reference my grandmother. She's approaching 90 years old, and she has the most beautiful soul of anybody that I've ever met, ever talked to. Okay, she's very, very nice to talk to.
Yeah,
and one day on the phone, I think it was like a 3-hour conversation. In the middle of it, she was like, hey, like, she was like, I never knew how to use a screwdriver. She was like, that's what your grandpa was for.
Right.
And she said, she's like, I don't know how to paint walls.
Right.
That's what your grandpa was for.
Yeah.
So she, at that time, I mean, so we're talking about a different time than now.
Right.
But it's like, he would take care of everything.
Yeah.
Literally do everything.
Yeah.
She would take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a separation of that.
Oh yeah.
Right now. It's like, all these girls, they want to make their life. They want to, make money, but at what cost to the family?
Right.
Because where then does the family structure break down?
Right. Well, too, it's also, but okay, I agree with that. But I also think, too, a major part of why that happened also is because industry left the United States in the first place, and it gave men industrial jobs to work in a factory or build cars or build skyscrapers or make iron, whatever. So it's like, so men in this world didn't have a place to go to be masculine men and work in a factory 9 to 5, come home to their wife and kids. So it's like now you're stuck at working at McDonald's or a restaurant or Target or some shitty job that men don't want to work at.
Yeah.
Like basically retail stuff and dealing with, you know what I mean? And that's also a big part of it is all the industrial all the industries that left the United States and went overseas for cheaper labor, cheaper costs, stuff like that, really did damage to the men in the United States. It really did. Like that's a huge part of it.
Get this. So every single year, so I was at Falcon Tool and Die for about, a good stint of this year. Okay. So I got to talk to all the old guys who were there. I understood the entire company. There was like, maybe 15 employees on the actual shop floor.
Yeah.
Really, really small shop floor.
Right. That's
you don't actually have like, there's no safety guards on like any of the equipment.
Right.
Like you could like break a wrist or like basically like get blown up like at any moment.
Yeah.
And so it was an interesting experience, but I would talk to these guys, and what I learned is that in the past 5 years, 30 or 40 of their employees. So the whole shop floor used to be, it used to be 50 people.
Right.
On this manufacturing stuff, tool and die. And they're retiring at a very rapid rate. And all they're doing, they're selling their tools on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
But they're not actually going back to give the information, the intelligence of how to do that stuff back to us.
Yeah.
So now we have to rely on a even smaller groups of people who are
very
specialized.
Small pool of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what that does is it kind of squeezes intelligence.
Right.
Because these guys, one, they're dying or they're retiring. And by the time you're in a retirement age and you know how to do something really well, you probably would just want to go on vacation in Cabo, or just want to like go on vacation or go on a cruise.
No doubt.
Okay. So that kind of leaves you and me in the dust.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Now, there's still people there, but they went from 50 people to 15 in the past 5 years.
That's a lot.
And that is because a lot of their manufacturing, and they still get shipments to this day. That's how they're going to stay afloat. They still get huge boxes of these die sets that they have to set up on these tables and above the boots and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all from China. It all gets made in China.
Right.
So it's even the idea that we can send the thought that we can send all of our manufacturing somewhere else and have it be better for us was good back in the day, because you can pay pennies to Pablo.
Yeah. But
when it comes back here and it needs to happen here, nobody can pay for it.
Yeah.
Nobody can afford it.
Yeah.
Nobody can afford to pay me $150,000 a year to be an engineer.
Yeah.
So it's a big dynamic, dude. That's
an interesting point. Yeah. I mean, industry leaving the United States, cheap labor overseas. And like, I also too, I think also that becomes part of like our laziness as a society also. Just us being lazy and consuming more than we make is also a problem, because we almost shipped our industry overseas because we got too lazy to do it ourselves almost in a way.
We did.
You know what I mean? That's what happened. Like everyone got too lazy. Like seriously, like that's also a big part of it. And like the whole thing too, like technology also, I think the flow of technology and how fast, rapidly it happened from like the 2000s till now also play a big part of people just getting lazy too. Just the pure, well, now it's called brain rot, but even that was going on way back when too. You know what I mean? Like, like I know growing up in the 2000s or whatever, so like that is like, it was so much flood of technology. It almost like, it almost made kids like dumber in a way. Because like instead of going outside, now you're inside playing video games online. You're online, your PC. You're doing things that that isn't outside, which kids need to be outside, exercising, playing with their friends, using their imagination, and stuff like that. That's what needs to happen. Instead, they're not using their imagination at all anymore.
And now I think I kind of saw this when I was about 13, 14 years ago. When I still was a teenager, like a young teenager, was I kind of had to grow up a little bit faster than the generations previous to me. Like for example, my mother, I mean, think about it. She was born in 1969.
Yeah.
And she had this, obviously a really good upbringing.
Yeah.
And she was a part of that time where, I mean, there wasn't computers. There wasn't this stuff. You were actually, You actually had to like write stuff down. You actually had to like write notes to somebody that you had a crush on to like give them a note, you know? And if you take it back to my grandma's time, which is like, shoot, man. I mean, 19, like 30, 40, something like, 40, 41 or whatever. So like she did all of this for the family, but she was working at Western Union when you still had to write everything down on paper. And now it's all just, it's way too automated. And I think it goes into a good discussion about regulation and stuff like that, as far as like tech advance and like regulations that the government has on us. And that kind of stuff.
For like regulations on technologies like that, like the thing I'm worried about really more so is AI becoming too powerful and using it to control humans to the point where, the unpredictable is there is no more unpredictability in this world. It's all predictable. You know what I mean? And that's what they want. They want a world of unpredictability so they can literally predict everything that's going to happen. They predict what you're going to say, what you're going to do, what your next stop's going to be, and all those things. Not only that, then they're going to have advertisement based on you alone. You know what I mean? Like who says in the future, right? If you like a certain brand of beer, right? Who says next time you don't go on your phone, your refrigerator is a smart fridge, right? The advertisement is your face on someone else's face drinking a beer, and it's advertising for Budweiser.
Right.
It's your face in the advertisement. Right. You know what I mean? Like legit personal targeting ads.
Dude,
legit personal ads.
There's subscriptions right now. Like the brand new Samsung dishwashers have to be hooked up to Wi-Fi.
That's crazy.
Or else they won't work.
That's wild.
So if you don't you open it up, you install it, then you look it through the book and stuff, and it tells you that you have to go to this certain website, set up an account, you have to hook it up to your Wi-Fi, even though the Wi-Fi has nothing to do with the product.
Right.
But then that's going to help them track where the product is and all this information on it. It's just too much. Dude.
I'm not sure if you know a lot about the UK and Britain, whatever, but there's a thing in Britain, the UK, I believe, where if you're being recorded in a public space or someone takes a photo of you on their personal cell phone, whatever, they have to keep the photo on their device for 5 years and have to tell you what provider has the photo of you on it. Oh, wow. So like if you walk into a store and it has recording you, it has information of like who's recording, where the recording's going, and who owns that recording of you. And that's how, and you know what I mean? So it's like, even though that's like really strict ruling, whatever, it's also kind of like, at least like where your stuff's going to be, who's watching you, and where the footage is. Because if you go to the store right now, there's no signs of who's recording you, who owns it, where's it being stored at, or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But,
so we don't, and see, this is the problem with regulation.
Yeah.
We basically don't have, you and I have no control over the hyper regulation that we're seeing, since COVID or whatever, since 2005.
Yeah.
Now it's all because tech entered that space.
Right.
Since
2001 with the Bush's whatever act, the terror, whatever he did, where it's like basically surveillance every American citizen to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well,
again.
And now
whatever
this is
or whatever
now
it was.
we are more free, but what is the version of free? It's not a total version of free because we have, we still have a lot of surveillance. They put up cameras at the main lights.
Oh yeah.
At all the main lights around here.
Oh yeah.
Right. And they put them up because they're, and they can scan the license plate really quick. So if I run a red light, for example, they're going to be able to, come over to my place, knock on the door and say, hey, you get a ticket, or if you don't pay the ticket, you're going to jail. Yeah. So there's, and I agree with like tolls and stuff and taxes.
Right.
And I agree with that
because someone's got to pay for the roads and upkeep of stuff.
Right. But at a point, it's like just to have a camera there, just like make sure, like just to surveil like a certain area.
Yeah.
We're seeing that happen now. We are more free, than a majority of
other people in the world,
majority of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But
people also die for that.
China
freedom,
already.
that's a difference.
China already has this completely in place. I mean, you can't go out into public or go into anywhere, but every single camera is hooked up to AI.
Oh, yeah.
And they can scan your face.
Oh yeah.
And then the AI will record what you're wearing.
Oh yeah.
So if you do any sort of crime, if you do anything that's out of the ordinary, they're most definitely going to be able to find you.
Well, dude, I saw some guy who lived in China, whatever. He was telling a story how he was in his house writing his journal against a CCP in his own journal, and they were watching him through his cameras in his house, through his web cameras, whatever I have up here, whatever, you know. They were watching what he was writing on his journal, and the cops came to his door and asked what he was writing in his journal.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Because like, it's like they're.
Yeah.
I mean, they do social credit scores over there, where it's like they shame people. If your credit score is too low in China, they'll shame you and put your face on billboards and make everyone known that like you're a bad citizen and you can't leave the city. You can't go to certain parts of the city.
Different culture.
You know what I mean? But that's like it's true. But no, you know what it is though? It's fear-based control, because fear is the ultimate form of control. Yes. So it's like it's like keeping the people in fear to control them almost.
Let's thank God that we're not, you know, at a point where, and I hope that this isn't when the iceberg like tips over, tips over in the water.
Yeah.
I hope that it's not totalitarian sort of regimen
regime,
that's like kind of going on, because that's very easy for it to be that way.
Oh yeah.
We see Trump wants to go for a third term.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to happen.
No, I hope not.
It literally cannot happen.
I hope not.
But it's completely unconstitutional now.
Yeah.
Now, but when even it doesn't matter if he stays in office or he goes. That's our problem with our system is we have these people who are they're in charge for 4 years, and then for the next 4 years after that, everything goes to shit. And then then it's a flip flop. It's like a pancake. It's like once one side is like done enough, you just flip the pancake and cook the other side. You know, it's like
no, you're not wrong because like if Republican doesn't win in 2028, whatever, and Democrat gets in the office, they're literally just going to do everything that they'll undo everything Trump did, and they'll spend the first 2 years undoing what he did.
Yes.
And the next 2 years will be putting in place what they want.
That's why
you know what I mean. So like nothing's ever getting done because it's a teeter tot. It's always going back and forth. Nothing's ever moving anywhere.
Now,
ever. We're staying stagnant.
I actually had a theory. This might be totally wild, but I had a theory that if we had five judges over Congress that could basically control, like the president signs something, but then these 5 judges actually go one by one, and it has to be a unanimous vote based off of economics, opportunity, finances, and international Congress, that we could have 5 people above the president that would actually go say, okay, we can cancel what you just did. Like don't send like stop sending billions of dollars to like other people. Our farmers need money.
Oh yeah.
Our farmers need money.
No, you're not wrong.
Are we gonna starve? Like is that what they want?
Yeah.
And you know what? And I don't think they care. I don't think they care because they're in seats where they don't care. They make $150,000 a year. They don't care about you and me.
Well, the thing is too, like the government alone too, it's like, I don't think people realize too, in government alone, like those families are in government for 30, 40 years. And what they're doing is they're writing rules and regulations to gatekeep a certain segment of something. So it's like, if you're in agriculture, right, your family's whoever, the Smiths, and then your dad was a congressman, he write rules and regulations to, to put something in place. They're gatekeeping all these rules and regulations. Like, all right, you want land, you want to plant something? I need my share, give me $1 million. I'll let you, I'll sign it. I'll sign your paper, whatever, let you do what you want. You know what I mean? They're literally gatekeeping rules and regulations. And that's why everything's so overregulated, because they're literally just robbing Americans blind of all their money by doing those kind of things.
And honestly, this was more apparent after COVID than anything, because the grocery stores, because the scarcity triangle, it got really tight. So there was like less toilet paper, there was less food on the shelf, there was less, availability of like essentials.
Right.
And what happened is, even though COVID fully recovered, these companies, what they did is they went off and they never actually adjusted their prices
Yeah, you're not wrong.
back. Like they never adjusted their prices to 2019 or 2018. They didn't let us have the relief of that kind of economic burden. So they realized, they're like, oh, if our prices are going to be this good and we can show our own shareholders that we're making all of this money, well, if this quarter was 12%, we're going to make next quarter 14%.
Yeah.
And it just, but it keeps perpetuating. That's where you see a collapse. That's where you see a collapse.
But I was thinking too, I think whoever's president is, so the president is Republican or the president is Democrat, right? So like right now, Trump is a Republican president, right? But if you live in a Democratic state and the governor's Democratic, they're going to make all the laws reverse what Trump is doing. So you never really get the full effect of what he's doing in the first place. So it's like if Trump's lowering gas prices, and we live in Michigan, what did Whitmer just do in Michigan?
Right.
She put a 50-cent tax on the gas. So guess what? So gasoline in Michigan is always going to be high for the fact that the governor put a law above the president's law to put a tax on the gas. So you'll never see the true price of gas ever.
I actually heard that people are leaving Michigan just because of that decision. Just that one alone.
You know what I'm saying? No, but it happens to all the states. So like a Democrat gets in the office next term, whatever, president, every single Republican is going to do the opposite of what the Democrat's going to do in their state alone. You know what I mean? So it's like you never see the full effect of anything. So you think he's always lying to you because you never see the true effect in the first place.
Well, that's the problem with a 4-year term. And I understand. Like I mean, honestly, I was my background is I was born in Siberia.
Yeah.
So I was adopted at 3 years old, and I have a different life perspective and a very selfless life perspective than a lot of people. It is a very different way to wake up every single day and feel like, wow, I have more opportunity than the next person because I know where I would be. I know where I would be today.
Right.
On the front lines.
Yeah. In the war.
On the front lines, throwing a fucking grenade at somebody that I don't want to throw a grenade
100%
at.
you would be.
Okay. So I've always appreciated that. This was way before then, but I've thought about that since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I always thought, okay, wow, I have it good. This country is great. This is awesome. And as I've grown older, approaching 30, I'm looking around and I'm saying, well, there's plenty of things that are wrong about this structure.
Yeah.
If we could have a president for 10 years that is actively working for the best things for the best people, and there's not as much lobbying every 4 years, then we would probably be in a better position right now on the world stage.
Yeah.
The only thing that separates us right now is our military power.
Yeah.
Everybody else is laughing at us, by the way. Canada is laughing at us. France, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, China, Russia, they look at us and they say, they just have a smirk on their face. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, too, it's like, but I also think too, like the power needs to go back to the people. It's like when you vote for people, whatever, you're giving your power or your control to someone who you think is going to represent you in the first place. So it's like, if whoever, even Trump, plays the shtick and gerrymanders to this crowd and says things people want to hear just to get their vote and their trust. You know what I mean? It does the opposite of what people want. You know what I mean? It's all about getting people's votes to get their control. Because once you vote for someone, you give your power and control to them. Because now you gave your voice to that person. You know what I mean? So it's really the way I see it is like the government should be run by the people because it's our tax money's paying for everything. Our tax money are funding everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, it's like the people should be voting on everything almost in a way. Not letting these people in government who are worth millions and millions of dollars doing all decision making when they live in a completely different world than the rest of us do. They, they drive different cars. They live in multi-million-dollar mansions.
Yep.
They have a different. It's literally a secret society. You know what I mean? It's a secret society. It's a society you can't see. It's a secret. You're not part of the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think when they hang out and have dinner with each other, they're talking way different than regular people are talking that work a 9 to 5 in a factory. They're talking about way different things and way different politics. And
yes.
It's like
yes.
Because when I'll use like a terminology, like kind of like a metaphor, but like people are like sheep. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're in government and a government position, your job is to herd the sheep of the people because people are, people will be the sheep and you're the herder, kind of. You know what I mean? I always tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna lead people to green pasture. You're gonna lead them to slaughter. You know what I mean? And that's like basically basically the president and the government's job is like herding sheep and you know what I mean, and herding cattle almost in a way. And it goes to I can go to the example of like that's why you have people work three different shifts in the city because then the cops know, all right, well, first shift starts at 6 a.m. We need cops on these roads at 6 a.m. So traffic will be heavy. They get out at 3, so we need cops on the road at 3 o'clock. So that's when traffic will be heavy. It's literally they're herding people in and out of the, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're doing basically in some kind of way. You know what I mean? They're farming people inside the city.
And they're not doing a good job.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Because well, once again, they want the money. They want want their so-called power over people, and you know what I mean. It's like a whole self-feeding. And I always tell people, I ask myself too, is like, is it being done on purpose? Like, is this literally being done on purpose, or is there our own ignorance and stupidity without having foresight of seeing the future?
No, so it's the human condition. So there's plenty of topics on that. I mean, there's so many things you could talk about, but it's like, at the baseline. So put yourself into their shoes. Okay. So imagine you make $250,000 a year. You make $250,000 a year, and your job is to, come up with different policies that will help people. Okay. This is what we see out in California. That's why California is such a shit show. If you can make $300,000, $250,000 per year to fix a homelessness problem, but then you fix the problem, now you don't have a job. So it's almost there's a human condition.
That's a good point.
It's almost like we're gonna keep these people in this condition because I have this really exclusive job that pays me a lot of money. Yeah. Where if I solve the problem, then they're gonna fire me. Yeah. And so that's what they do. They hold off on that kind of stuff.
That's a good point.
Because they have plenty of money. Yeah. Actually, the United States government right now, regardless of debt, has enough money to pay everybody $50,000 right now. And there's people on the street, homeless. Yeah. They could pay for everybody to have a home. Yeah. They could pay for everybody, and maybe our taxes would increase. Right. But I'm okay with paying an extra $2 a day to make sure that it's a better society.
But the other thing too, is like you can't just give a homeless person a house either though.
Because they'll just end up homeless again.
Yeah, because they don't know how to maintain it properly. They don't know how to take care of themselves. How do you take care of
more social services and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, more help.
We don't really have that.
Yeah. More mental help too, because it's I find it sad in the world that like
it's a Michigan.
It takes it's a worldwide thing that people have to go to such a people hurt other people and they're like, oh, he had a mental problem, and it's already too late by that point. You know what I mean? True. Like there's not enough mental help for people in the world either. Also, where it's like it's too late. You know what I mean?
And to relax that idea is there's not a lot of people that understand psychology and neuroscience that deeply. Yeah. So that there's I could have, if that's what I was doing and I was going to be a therapist, for example, I would have to help in one city. I would have to help 4,000 people per week. How am I going to get 4,000 people into my office per week? Yeah. How am I going to help that many people? There's platforms out there that promote that kind of thing. And, and I'm not going to go off, I don't want to say any names or anything, but it's, it's going more online because it's more accessible. Yeah. But the healthcare system that we have is also equally as screwed as the government. Yeah. Because it's tied to the government. It's tied to shareholders. It's tied to money. So anything that is tied to shareholders and money irrevocably dismisses the majority of the population and says,
Yeah.
you know what? I heard of this. I think it was in Oregon. There was this guy who had a big trucking company, and this investor flew him down to Florida. He was in the boardroom. And he was, trying to be an investor into this trucking company because each one of these trucks costs like $1 million, right?
Okay.
So he's in this meeting. The investor starts off the pitch with, he was previously like a pharmaceutical salesman.
Right.
So it starts off the pitch. He says, I bought this company and it was $400 after or before copay through insurance.
Okay.
And I bought this company and I just raised the price to $3,000
Right.
for nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just because I can.
Yeah.
And then insurance, then it's like the insurance agencies will have to be like, oh, okay, I'll pay that bill. But if you can't now, it's like they're squeezing the people that need these medications the most. In his case, this person is totally psychotic and totally okay with the fact that he said in that meeting, he said, it's okay if they die, they can't afford it.
Damn.
So it really is.
That's crazy.
It really is bad. Now, this guy, the guy that owned the trucking company, was like, no, I'm not even doing business with you.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not where my morals are.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, the next trucking company or other ones in that state,
right,
or other ones in other states could be like, you know what? I'm sell out. I'm going to sell out and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do fine. I'll take your money.
Yeah.
But he heard that one line and he was like, no, where's your morals at?
Yeah.
Where are you morally? And are you going to be a good person in the face of a better economic opportunity that screws over the general public? Or are you going to stay true to yourself?
Right.
It's huge, man.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah. But I mean, so are you against more federal regulation then? Like in that example right there.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah,
Against more.
Yeah, I would be. Well,
less regulation.
I would be against it, just because it's gotten to a point where it's a little bit too much. I mean, we saw this during COVID.
Yeah.
We saw this there was plenty of old people that were running this country during COVID, and who actually got affected by COVID?
The old people.
Not you and me.
No.
Because we got COVID a bunch of times and we never got affected. It's the old people. But then they're the ones in control.
Yeah.
So that's why we had the mask mandate. Yeah. That's why we had the restaurants shut down. That's why we had small businesses go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's because these old people when you approach that time in your life, okay, and you're old and you're fragile and all this, you start putting up safety nets around you.
Well, yeah.
And you start to believe that if I need those safety nets, then everybody needs those safety nets. And which is not true, especially for someone like me or yourself that is perfectly healthy. Like we shouldn't have to
I know what you mean.
wear a mask. And then so what it happens to be is, as you approach that age and you approach that fragility in your life, you start to project that onto other people who maybe don't want to make those decisions or rather not wear a mask in that case.
Yeah, that comes down to, it's like my body, my choice type thing. That shouldn't be only no, for real though. That shouldn't be only for females. That should be for everyone. That shouldn't just be a female right. That should be a human right. The government shouldn't tell you need this to work a job. You need that to work a job. You know what I mean? It should be my body, my choice. Anyone should be able to say that, not just a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That right there is only helpful for women for some reason. I never understood that, why that right there is only helpful for women and not for everyone else. It makes no sense to me. I do not get that at all. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
Like,
simply.
Like, you know, my body, my choice. When it comes to like abortion and stuff like that, they always say my body, my choice. You know what I mean? But like, if the government was like, if the government was like, you need to get a vaccine, and me and man being like, my body, my choice, they just laugh at me. You know what I'm saying? They just laugh at me for that.
True.
And I still think, and they still maybe get a vaccine to keep a job.
True.
You know, that it shouldn't be like that.
I think we're good to go, man.
Yeah, I'm about to get some dinner.
I really appreciate.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you having me, dude.
No, we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah.
That was a good conversation. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Until next time.
Thank you for the platform.
We'll see Jason again. Don't worry. He'll be on again. We'll have more discussions with Jason. So until next time, as always, may peace be with you. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'm Justin. I love you. Peace.